here they are clearly saying, see, domicile is not defined anywhere in the constitution. It means the permanent home or a place where people with the intention of remaining there for an indefinite period. Here, an Iranian national by birth came to India and he was residing with his maternal uncle and an Iranian national in 1938 when he was about 13 years. The record does not show on as to what passport he entered India. So what happened was in January 1945 he obtained an Iranian passport and went to Iraq on pilgrimage. This passport showed that he held an identity card of Iranian government. So here the question, even if he is going for pilgrimage, if you see the item of pilgrimage, it is in the union list. He was on March 22nd, 1946 registered under the Registration of Foreigners Rules 1939 as an Iranian national. On May 25th, 1951, he obtained the residential permit under the Foreigners Order and 1938 permitting him to reside in India up to certain date. So if you are coming on a permit, it will allow you only for a certain period of time, not for a long period or for the rest of the life. This permission was extended from time to time at his request. On December 2, 1957, his last request was refused as he was ordered under the Foreigners Act 1946 and he was asked to leave India. The appellant is not a citizen because these circumstances are insufficient to prove his domicile even if he is there for more than the prescribed years that has been explained. So that was what was that case law. Then if you see Lewis versus Union of India, a Belgian national staying in India since 1937 on a Belgium passport with the permission of Government of India from time to time, and he could not succeed in the claim of citizenship. Why? The next point taken on behalf of the petitioners that the foreigners also enjoy some fundamental rights under the Constitution of India, and it is not much help to them because the fundamental rights The fundamental rights of the foreigners is confined to Article 21 for life and liberty and does not include the right to reside and settle in this country. So this is very clear line on which the earlier two cases were decided. If you see Article 19(1)(e), which is applicable only to the citizens of this country. See, here the citizens, as you saw in Article 5 to 11, should be fulfilled. That is the condition that is asked for. Next is Hans Muller of Nuremberg versus Superintendent Presidency Jail, Calcutta and others, 1955 case. What happened, we will see. The power of the government in India to expel foreigners is absolute and unlimited because the acquisition and termination of citizenship is held only with the parliament as it is in Article 11. Do not forget that. There is no provision in the constitution fettering to the discretion because it says any. That is the word you should remember. It was pointed out that the legal position on this aspect is not uniform in all the countries. But so far, the law which operates in India is concerned and the executive government has unrestricted right to expel a foreigner. This is the condition that existed during 1955 period. The executive government has unrestricted right to expel a foreigner. In Kulati Mamu versus State of Kerala, he was born in Kozhikode for parents who were both Indian citizens. In 1948, at the age of 12, he went to Pakistan. He came to India for some time in 1954 and holding a Pakistani passport in which he was described as a Pakistani national. He again came for some time in 1956. After that, there was no record in Kozhikode for his movements. But in 1964, he was again found there without any valid travel documents. On action under Foreigners Act being taken against him, the writ petitioner was filed in the High Court, and it urged that he was an Indian citizen. The High Court held that he had migrated to Pakistan within the meaning of Article 7 of the Constitution in 1948 and therefore was a foreigner. So this was all about the existence of law earlier. The word migrated is capable of two meanings. What are the two meanings? First one, in its narrower connotation, it means going from one place to another with the intention of permanent in the later place. The wider connotation is going from one place to another place where or not with the intention of permanent residence in the later place, such as domicile in question of fact and intention, which you saw earlier. Migration is also a question of fact and intention. Migration from the territory of India. So this word territory of India, within the states he is moving, within the territory of India. Here Article 7 means moving from one place to another but not necessarily with the intention of permanently residing in the country into the place where he is to move. Next, if you see, which you saw in Article 6, the date, this 19th July 1948, on or after, this period became very crucial, and the condition is they have to either apply or through the procedure that is set by the government of India. So all this played an important role in identifying the person who could be the citizen. Here if you see, the parliament to regulate the right of citizenship by law, here we saw it earlier that the parliament to make any provision with respect to acquisition and termination. Coming to Citizenship Act 1955, we will see what is happening here. So citizenship by birth, you see under section 3 of this act, except as provided in subsection 2, every person born in India on or before 26th day of January 1950 but before the first day of July 1987. So the condition given before was this: on or after the first day of July 1987 but before the commencement of Citizenship Act 2003, either of whose parents is citizen of India at the time of birth, on or after the commencement of Citizenship Amendment Act 2003, both his parents are citizens of India. So initially you saw in 1955 Act and in the Constitution it talks as parents. Parents include both mother and father, biological mother and father. That is how it needs to be taken. Now we will see how many times Citizenship Act has been amended. It has been amended 5 times. So you could see that what are all the years I will tell. Kindly note it down. The Citizenship Act 1955 was the initial act that came into existence, and it was amended for the first time in